Welcome to the Influencer Show with your host, Trishawn Ben Salmi.
Hello, everyone. One second. Okay. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Influencer Show, where I interview people who can help influence the way you live life in a number of different ways. I'm your host, D7, and today we have a very special guest for us. So if you'd like to introduce yourself to listeners and let them know a little bit about you.
Sure. Hi guys. My name is Paul, and I am just a regular person who has 9-to-5 job and try to live a better life every single day. And what has been given me last 6 years that I have decided to live my life will be super incredible. And I know that if someone has no backgrounds, no relationship, no networking, nothing, I know it takes some time, but I really need to work on my heart, on myself to make it happen. And along the way, my first achievement was living such a beautiful, happy life. That gave me a lot of opportunities, and people who I work with, I literally influence them every single day. And that's just, one of those things that I think I cannot put it into price. And secondly, because I have this kind of characteristics, and that drove me into many different opportunities, meeting with many different industry, professionals, as well as I was able to make a good amount of financially, as well as living such a beautiful life. And that's one side of story that everyone can do. If someone like me can do it, I literally truly believe that everyone deserves every single step that I've done. It's really achievable, and I have very small piece of advice for everyone that anyone can do it.
That is absolutely amazing. And why don't you tell the listeners why you do what you do?
So I have my 9-to-5 job, which is I manage the orders, and is one of the retailer shops in United States, and we basically sell kitchen appliances. And the part that why I decided to work with them was not only I'm able to create a work ethic that actually proves that small thing really become matters, and if I really do enjoy of growing more and learning more, this will help me to moving forward and inspire people. Oh, I'm just stuck in the job. Okay, I was in the same position. I am in the same shoes as you do. But meanwhile, I can actually prove myself that, okay, if I wanted to go to A to B, and if I'm not willing to handle as small as paying my bills or taking my responsibility, that truly tells me that I'm just kind of wanted, not really wanted. And because I'm taking responsibility as well as a learning process and how operation works, because our company is global, and that helps me to have a job scope as well as entrepreneurship skills that helps me to learn both, so that I'm truly saying that I am doing my job, literally taking my responsibility, and I'm also building a business and community to help others to make something big. And this is all the things that I have been given first, that I have been truly inspired by God. I mean, as a Christian, I receive so much love, and I just gotta do more. And I have so much energy, I have so much time, and I have enough of spares of money that I can spend something on that I don't need to. And I rather help someone to build something. So that's, such a privileged moment that I'm currently living with. And that's exactly what I'm doing it. Mm-hmm.
That is absolutely amazing. I really do love your why. And what would you say has been the biggest influence on you that you wish you had known sooner?
The biggest influence that I had was, I am literally nothing. I'm I just gotta say this, wow, I don't know anything. I literally don't know anything. But then I'm able to learn from anyone. And without them, I cannot be placed where I am at. I cannot have this joy and happiness if I didn't meet my team. And I couldn't do this if I didn't mentor of my life. And they guide me through, because like, like everyone knows that waking up early in the morning and go to the gym and then working out and like living a like positive life, everyone knows what it is. But along the way, you feel like, I don't really see the change. Like, you don't see the drastic change. But then like, am I doing well? And like always, whenever I have self-doubt moments, there was always someone, I call them my mentors, and like always someone confirm me that, Paul, you're doing great. Keep doing this for another 5 years. Wow. Like, how do you know? Like, I am living proof. Like, it's just like that kind of one sentence, one confirmation, one affirmation just tells me that, yeah, let me do this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I get replenished my energy that I lost, but then someone who actually doing it already achieved the success that all they need, and I'm able to do moving forward even more. I think that's one of the most amazing things that I have received, that fulfillment, so that I really got to do this. I really got to share some love and share some opportunity and share some ideas with anyone, whoever I encounter with, whether in Rob's, like a supermarket, that's one of the a supermarket in US, or I met on LinkedIn, like you, or like yesterday, one of chief editor in Entrepreneur magazine. His name's Jason, and he posted one post that encouraging people, and one of the lady was just she really wanted this and this sense of encouragement, and I just okay, I read it, I felt it, and I just went in, like all in, like, okay, I want to make sure that you receive all the love that you need, and you first need to be loved, and you are good. And that moment changes her life. Like, she DM'd me back and then replied me back that like, this is exactly what I needed. And I was just able to give back in such a moment where when I sense it, I just don't hesitate. I just go right into it. Yeah, that's the biggest fulfillment that I have received along this journey.
That is absolutely amazing. I totally agree. It's just about like taking action on every opportunity and having those people in place around you to motivate you, like just like at times where you start to like think like, is this working, and have those moments of self-doubt, having those people around you to motivate you and just simply push you out of your comfort zone to then achieve more is really vital in life.
Yes. Yeah. That's priceless.
Exactly, yeah, definitely. And how do you then prefer to influence others to change the way that they live their lives for the better?
So what I always do is, first I listen to them. I listen to them, their concerns. I starting asking questions, because what I've learned is that sometimes if you not knowing the person and give something to them, let's say it could be food, money, anything, you giving them in your terms, they may not need it, or they even maybe like discouraged by receiving something from other people. So instead of focus on what I can give, I focus on what they need by asking them the question first. And I always give them a room, so that what I'm giving is not, I'm thinking about return anything back from you. Just like this, I always focus on other people's perspective. I know, not perspective, their situation. And then I listen. And if this is something I can do, then I say it. I'll do like fully, like literally fully, without expecting anything in return. And that's what I've been giving, whether it's in our work or in just regular life or church that I go to. So to me is I've learned it. And if someone like me learned that, okay, like when I had nothing, when I had a negative bank account in my bank account, how can I give? Like, I have nothing. I'm not a millionaire, and like, what should I give? And funny thing is that I get goosebumps right now, funny thing is that once you focus on giving, you start to acknowledge what you have. Like literally, Trey, if you walk out the door and go to one of those cafe where people are wearing masks and just tell them that I hope you have such a great day and thank you for serving me. That one sentence can change their life. Like maybe she had a very, very sad moment, or mom's having a cancer. I don't know. But like one kindness, living like that, it changes. It will change. It definitely will change a person's life. And that's how I started giving, when I did not realize I had so much. You know what I mean? So
Yeah. I think that's just like really
mhm,
important. And when you simply acknowledge where you are in that point in your life, and just
mhm,
like going like that so-called observation mode, it then
mhm.
brings into like just helps you become more aware of what you have around you, and it then not only does it help you become more grateful, but then it also helps you to use everything around you to the best in the best way possible.
Yes. And it just also that creates a chain reaction. Once you create a good reaction, like all the people, like whether they feel like obligated or like, oh, there's a different mood now. Oh, I need to give one. Like, you know what I mean? Like that starting giving,
Yeah.
like starting with the one person, it begins like chain reaction. Mhm.
I totally agree. It's like just like smiling at someone. Eventually, they're gonna smile. Like they can't keep a straight face for
Exactly.
definitely.
100%. True.
What would you then say people should do to stay motivated during moments of crisis?
So for me, motivation is anybody can do it. Whether right now we're having a pandemic globally, like everybody affected by this coronavirus. But then what we receive, or like what's been impacted, each one of us is different. Some people impacted even more, some people don't. And that point, I wanna make that motivation is our choice. Literally, like you can just like throw the day off, like even though we having this interview, like if I start to like losing my motivation and start to think negative stuff, this can go wrong.
Yeah.
Totally wrong, you know what I mean? But then I always start with the gratitude. If you start like gratitude, the word actually opens our eyes and our heart, that starting to see things that I have never seen it before. And sometimes like so hard, whether I'm physically super tired or like super emotionally bombarded with the work, whatever that is, like I always be in very small piece. I start as small as I look at my fingers. I do have them. And I remember the story who lost his arm. It's just one of those videos that I watched. Casey Neistat's interview with the Australian guy. He was bitten by a shark, and he's ripped off his arm and legs. Like half of his part is gone. Now it's mechanically has been like installed his body. And when Casey asked him, if you only have a one choice of body part that you can put it back, which one would you do? And he said arm. Like, why? Because leg is a changeable. You can just put this fake legs, and I don't know the medical terminology for that, but hand, moving finger, there's no science can follow it yet. That like was like, Jesus. Like
Yeah.
I have two. I even have two. Like, what am I worrying about it? That's how I always begin it. And that gratitude always drives me to such a great motivation. Mhm.
That is absolutely amazing. That's actually a way that I haven't heard of quite of looking at it, and that's actually really inspiring. It's just about like being grateful for the little things, because then as a result of like just there's a quote where it says, "He who can handle little can handle much." So it's about like being grateful
Yep.
for all the small things that you have in life, and then as a result, the world will get used to that, and then as a result, they'll then push things into your life that can not only help to up level you, but also help you to then up level others to do the same.
Yes, 100%. So true.
If you had a megaphone and you could say one thing to the world that would have a lasting influence, what would it be and why?
Love God. Put God first, everything that you do, period. And after that, everything messed up in your life will be straightened up. That's proof of my life. Like, things can happen all the time, and relationship can be broken anytime. Otherwise, like, if we, like, this is one of the fascinating part. Like, people think that, oh, you don't speak in English well. Okay. Does it mean that you understand everybody who's speaking English 100%? Nope. The true language that I believe that is heart to heart. It's not the English. Like, then how would someone who cannot talk can fall in love? Right?
Yeah.
So for me, if I have ability, I always think about this. I have the ability to just, live one day today, make sure that everybody hears me, is always put God first. And then from there, do what you got to do. That's the only principle that I have. Everything that I do. That's my purpose. Sharing the love that I have received. Yep.
That is very, very powerful. I totally agree with that. Because then, like, you may have, like, for you listeners, there may have been times where you've attended an event or just seen a clip on YouTube where someone's talking a language and the person doesn't understand, but they then connect with them on a deeper level, and it's just simply amazing. Because, how we're communicating now, that is just an extension of, that's just a different extension, which makes it easier for us to communicate. But we are then able to communicate on so many deeper levels, which everyone is able to do. So it's not just about like talking the same language, because then when you're on the same like frequency and the same level, then you're then able to connect on a deeper scale.
Yes, truly.
What advice would you give to those who, let's say, they had their very own £1 million idea at a time like this? What advice would you give to them?
Just begin. Choose one. Like, you can throw the dice or flip the coin. Just choose one. Go and do it. Because like, if you have this is how I always do. If I have millions of ideas that are in my head, I don't even prioritize it. I just start to write them on the paper. Like, I literally write them on the paper, and then I plan it out and I just keep doing it. And then if I like the way it does, and I keep building on it, and along the way I may get just discouraged or just got not fun anymore, I can ditch it. But I always do not suffocate myself to fail about the process that I did, but rather I learn from it and then do it better, so that eventually it connects the dot. Like, you and I doing this right now started with the one comment. Like, you kind of like the comment that I put, and then you kind of like that, and I did a put thumbs up or just one comment. That's how it began. One comment begins with the one text, one message, and that's how we led into this position. It just doesn't happen in just right away, not in one day. Like, think about it. The most craziest thing that I can think about you and I having in this process is, we set it up everything perfectly. You set it up, you follow intensively. By the way, I get goosebumps, you're doing really great job on that. And that is just so perfectly he prepared for it. And I was so ready for it. I set the alarm clock, everything. But then this stupid time difference that we messed up. And just like US has a summertime, this, this saving date, whatever, just summertime, that's just 1 hour difference, screw up everything. I was like, damn. And I felt that, okay, we're gonna make this happen again. And if we can do this already, we already won. this is already ROI positive. And it's just like, geez, like, but like the point you try to make was, you have a millions of ideas, just just choose one, just start from there, and you will learn along the way. And like, just like, it's just how life works. No matter how perfect plan that you have, like our company has like 5 years plan, but nobody expected that this coronavirus will happen. And that plan now scratch everything over,
Yeah.
start a new one, and a brand new one. From here we begin. And like, we used to do this, like we have to meet up in like in New York or in the midpoint, otherwise it's just not gonna happen. But now this is how it happened. How did you begin with this? By just sending a one ask email. Hey, this is how hi, my name is Trey, and this is how I do, and would you like to be on my podcast? Yes, no, okay, got it. No, like, okay, have a nice day, done. And then yes, and then okay, let's set up a time when it's a good time for you. Like, you arrange all of this. And this is how things get happen. Like, people get to understand that you, like, okay, I like whoever watching this video 5 years later or even 5 hours later, I want them to understand how Trey was intensively planned this out and follow through very intensively. And also he planned the things a very, very professional way. And also just like making people very comfortable to have this interview with. So that process took a while, at least a couple of months right now.
Yeah, totally. It's about just having them like consistent steps and then systems in place just to make everything effortless and easy, because like no one really wants to have like that complicated. They don't want to have to like be chasing people out and things like that. It's just about having things in place to then make things flow through easily. And I totally agree with what you said there about picking the idea, because like when people often like everyone has several thousands of ideas a day. It's about just focusing on one and just like taking action on that one thing, because yeah, it's okay to like sometimes get sidetracked, but it's about just making that decision to stick with this, because then that way you're not you're because then that way you're then able to maximize the results that you get. And also by focusing all your attention into one thing, you're then able just to like just achieve so much more in a little time space.
Yep.
What would you say is the biggest problem or issue that you're aiming to solve as an influencer in your own industry?
I have the most challenge way to learn is always myself. That it meaning that people can react very differently. Like I'm ready to give this. Like I'm really ready. Like I want you to take this, but then I cannot control them. The only person I can control is me. And from that moment, I have realized that, okay, I need to first listen, and I need to put good contents, and I need to engage with the people like naturally, like as a real human being. We never met before, but even if I meet you in person one day, right?
Yeah.
And that's for sure, I'll be exact same person as who I am. And many people I have seen that because it's a internet, because they're not gonna see them each other, they really treat them like a one time shot, like just a one time thing, like it's just an instant thing, and not genuinely connected with the people. So that I just like, am I really revealing myself on social media, or am I just trying to be like someone who I am not? Or like, I always evaluate myself to see that, okay, am I truly believe this or not? And like once clicks, I just go right away.
And I think that just like as a result of then having that authenticity, it also raises your credibility, because then like if you say what you do and when people meet you, they then simply just like feel that, and they actually then are able to connect with you just quicker and more easier. Because like let's say that I'm like, all I talk about is, oh my gosh, I love football and things like that. And then when I go to meet someone, like I do not want to hear anything about football. Then
Yep.
people then pick up on that, and then they're
Yep.
like, is he really about this? And they, it just like, it doesn't really like feel right, and people tend to pick up on that. So it's just about getting
So
clear
quickly.
exactly. It's just about like getting clear on your message and then just pitching that to the world, really.
It is so true. So that's always hardest part, like working on me, accepting me.
And I think that just like everyone is like suffering like in one way or another just with that as well, because like social media, you're then able to do like, you're able to become whoever you want, you're able to do whatever you want. So people then actually, they are doing themselves a disservice by not showing the real and authentic version of themselves.
True. So true.
What would you say was the so-called pivotal point along your journey, and what did it teach you?
Pivot to this journey. I think the biggest pivot for me was once I actually changed my mindset. So philosophy, everything starts differently. And one of the quote that I love is, you cannot be rich today, but you can change the direction to be rich today. So meaning to me, if I live today well, if I give everything that I possibly could, and if I take this moment to grateful and share some love with others, that's one day at a time. Eventually it will help me to get to the point where I need to be. And that's I always pray about it and always try to do the right thing and share some love and share some kindness to everyone who I reach out to.
I think that's like just like really important, because like when people often like just get caught up in life, really, they're thinking like, oh, it's all about me, me, me. How do I look and blah blah blah. But it's about then having that positive impact on others, because that is like the true essence of life. Because then, as a result of you having a positive impact on others, it then comes back to you, really.
True, so true.
What are your views on the word legacy, and what legacy would you like to leave?
I want to leave a legacy of next generation to learn, love God first, and then build the given talents and figuring out, not living in the terms of other people's opinions, but living in the terms that you actually embrace in your heart. And someone who literally start from nothing and having a negative bank account, and from there I took a lot of jobs, and one day at a time I built this happiness, and I built this positive like mentality, and I have saved some monies like little by little, and now I am at the moment where I can freely work whenever I want, whenever, like literally I can give, and while maintaining my work in a very freely way, like literally like I can choose it, so that I can only enjoy the portion of my life that I must share this with someone else. And why am I doing it? Just like I shared with you before, I have a living in a purpose where I must share the love that I received first, so that people see me as like interviewing with you, or just shaking hands on the normal stranger on the street and handing out the foods to the homeless people. All of that comes into the one thoughts, sharing the love that I received.
And I think that's just like really important, just like paying it forward, because as a result of paying it forward, you're then able to just like shed some light onto someone else and simply like say like, I believe in you and here's something for you to start with. And not only does it then give them that self-confidence and self-belief, but then it also sort of like whenever they are in an like, let's say that further down the line they then start to think negatively or like doubt tends to creep in, they then remember back to that moment when you simply believed in them, and then that can actually motivate them to achieve more.
Yes.
If you had to be another person for one day, who would it be and why?
Nobody. Like, I literally, I don't have the best face or awesome height or like, I don't know. Like, to me, like, I am so glad that I am who I am. I can't even really think about anybody else. Like, I can have some superpowers. I'll use some of them, but I don't want to be anybody but myself.
I think that's just like really important, because then when you simply are proud to be you and you simply like own yourself, then you're then able to like other people, when they then interact with you, they then pick up on the self-confidence, and then they can then use that self-confidence just to not only support themselves, but then simply paying it forward to someone else. And I think that's really, really important how you said that before about how you like to live life on purpose, because then living a life on purpose, it then teaches you to then not only manage your time wisely, but it also just helps you become more aware of the activities and the people that you surround yourself with. Because then when you live a life on purpose, you don't get caught up in like mediocre things such as like social media fallouts and loads of that, because then living a life, due to living life on purpose, you're then able to surround yourself with people who simply uplift you and take part in activities that not only benefit you, but then it's also a positive way to use your time.
Yep, so true.
What would you say are the top 3 lessons that you've learned along your journey, and how did they influence the way you look at life?
Top 3 lessons that I have learned is, first, I always have to learn. Never stop learning. That's the first one. And second is, I must share with others that I have received. And third, this is the one of the best part that I'm having so much right now, is being myself is one of the most critical things that I can live such a happy life, even though I don't have much, like as like other people may think. But then because I'm so happy, I'm able to give so much. Because like I'm really good at being myself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So those are the 3 lessons that I can share with anybody.
I think those are really important, and I totally agree with that. And what advice would you then give to your younger self?
Just like, I literally made a video about this, that it's okay. Everything's gonna work out. Don't worry about it.
And I think those, like, as little as they may sound, it's actually really important, because like everyone in like their life, they at a point in their life, everyone just needs that person to just say like, it's okay, you're gonna be fine, like you're gonna make it. Because then that not only does it motivate you, but then it simply encourages you to just go out every day and make every day amazing.
Yep. Yes.
Lastly, Paul, could you share with the listeners where they can find you if they'd like to find out about any upcoming things you may have?
Sure. All accounts throughout the platforms: Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, and LinkedIn. You can find me at, LinkedIn is different, but other platforms at Paul X POS. It stands for positive or possible. So Paul collaborate with the positive or possible. So that's why I named it Paul X POS, and YouTube too. And LinkedIn, just Paul Lee. Mm-hmm.
Thank you so much. I'd like to thank you for coming on the Influence Show today.
Oh, it's always my pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. And I'd like to thank you listeners for sticking to the end. And if you guys would like to have the chance to be featured on the show, feel free to email the email that should be popping up on the screen. And I hope you guys have a great day. That's it from me. Bye.